Yo, 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 good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Apex Brotherhood live stream. My name's Richard, and we are in Tuesday already. Like, this week is moving too quickly for me because, yeah, yesterday flew by. Guys, first, a disclaimer, and and then afterwards we'll get into the market. I accidentally clicked the disclaimer button thinking I thinking I moved the scroll down to where it is, and I accidentally clicked it. Oh well, whatever. It is what it is. Let's get some music on. All right. Let's get straight into the market. I'll add this one. All right. Let's see. So this is pound. Pound is not looking very flashy at the moment. I'm going to start with gold, because gold has made a bit of a movement yesterday. All right, so let's start on the daily on gold. All right, so we are making what appears to be a bit of a head and shoulders. Is there a head? Very little of a head. We're making an M at the moment. I don't like using the words head and shoulders. It's an ugly M. It's not a great looking M. But you get the point. So here we have, on the daily, we have my base area, which I'm going to draw every single day, because I like to rehash everything. We have the highs up over here. So this is just on the daily, and this is areas that have been tested. So I'm just going to make these points of interest. Go down to the 4 hourly. We can see the same thing that we saw yesterday, except now we've got a bit of a breakout. We had a bit of consolidation over here. Price breaks out, retests, and then continues lower. Price touches the point of interest, which was the daily base. Price reacts off of it, tries to come and test it again, fails, tries to push higher, basically makes a triple top, so goes into a bit of consolidation. We have a break, an attempt at a retest, pushes lower, no impetus to push it lower further, and it comes back to this area of consolidation. So we'll remove these two areas of consolidation. We then had an attempt to start pushing higher, an attempt to try and push lower, and then a continuation back higher. But we have this little area of consolidation right over here where price absolutely vaulted out of. If I just pull that across, you'll see that we've now come back to it. So we've pushed higher, tried to make a attempt to push lower yet again, failed that, started pushing higher. We broke into this high point, which was the all-time high daily base area. We had a nice reaction off of it. We attempted to push into it yet again and failed, and then started pushing lower. So we will have this area over here as an area of interest. This one is not really an area of interest anymore. However, it's interesting to see that when we broke through it, we attempted to push back into it. So an area of consolidation where price accumulated and pushed out of. When it came back to it and pushed through it, it attempted to touch it again and started pushing lower. So we'll take that one away. Let's look at the hourly. Price pushed lower, attempted to push back up again, and this was the moment where the bears completely took over. So this on the hourly is an hourly bearish base, which is an area that where price can potentially come back to should it eventually start gaining some bullish momentum yet again. So this area over here needs to be tested first before we can test the upper band, which obviously we can try and let's not say manipulate, but let's try and reduce it into an area that makes a bit more sense. This was a decision area as well. This is pretty much where we wicked into it and started moving lower. And then we have a decision point up over here as well as the all-time highs. Way up above. So last moment that any bullish attempts was made before a long drop off, this was an area of consolidation, slight consolidation before we made our last attempt to take on the high points, the highs of all-time highs. So you can see that this area had some interest of sorts, which is why we've come back into it and then reacted off of it. So what we need to see now is we need to see whether or not there's an area to the left where price can react off of to try and test these highs. That's one thing. Or alternatively, we're just going to try and push lower to come and test the supply and supply area at the resistance area. Supply in the sky, resistance down low. Support area. What was I saying? Yeah. Anyway. Then from here, price reacted very strongly. This was 2 days ago. This was Friday. Friday, we had a massive sell-off. We attempted to push back into it. We kind of came back to an area to the left where there was a bit of indecision. So you had this hourly base over here that was tested once, broken out of, tested once, tested twice. And we've technically come back to retest that area. It's not a particularly strong area. But if we just take the most recent of those tests, which is this one over here, you'll see that we've just come into it. We broke through it, just came into it, pushed lower, retested, and continued pushing lower from there. So I want to see some sort of reaction in this area as well. Notice how I keep moving the boxes either to the left to see if there was multiple tests. And then if I do find one, then I kind of just move it towards the right to see if there's a cleaner, most recent area that is to be tested, or at least that could be in the laser sight, like an attempt to try and come to. If there's nothing like this where you have like a big gap, then obviously you're going to look at the most recent points where price started pushing off of. So over here you have, on the hourly, you have this small little area over here where price volumetrically pushed out of. If I push it all the way through, you'll see that we've literally just wicked into that area and we're slowing our momentum going down and we're starting to get a little bit of bullish input. Even though during New York yesterday we had this massive drop-off, even though we were slightly bearish, we were sideways but slightly bearish. If I drag a channel, there was an attempt to go higher, go lower, attempt, until we eventually just absolutely shot through. So first area that we need to come and test is obviously this area over here where price reacted out of. So the last two candles in the opposite direction of the movement is what I'm going to mark as my area of interest. And this is the shortest term area of interest. If price can break through here, which is what it attempted, it broke lower and attempted to break into it. If we can come back to it, if we can come back into this area and completely disrespect this reaction, then there's a potential for us to try and test this area up over here. It's very short term, but overall so far it looks like it's a decent attempt. The only concern that I have is that we have lower wicks in relation to the previous ones, and we have yet to show any attempt to try and take the most recent swing point. So that is the most recent swing point up over here. We need to come and test it. If it's tested, it's going to be a nice indication of where we want to go after it's been tested. The reaction on the test, basically. So we have in the area where it was initiated, the low is down here, obviously, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a breakthrough on the fifth one, and then a retest, and then a continuation lower. So there is a potential for this line here to be tested, but at the same time, we have this area down here where price needs to break through. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Where price needs to break through before we can say, yes, we can push lower to try and test this area down here. If I keep going towards the left, I'm looking for areas where price reacted volumetrically, multiple bullish candles, or an area where we had a bit of consolidation and then a breakout, a retest, and then a continuation. And generally, what you are looking for is you're looking for areas where once it started moving, it broke the previous swings that it had. So even though down here you have multiple bullish candles, it's not really piercing any sort of structure on the left. It's still within a band. So I think this area is fine, even though the reaction itself from this area to me is not the strongest. I think this area down here has had a stronger reaction. The candles are a lot smaller. The direction is true. It's a bullish movement, but it's not as strong as, for argument's sake, this movement over here. These big candles, large attempt to push lower, and then an absolute failure to push even lower. So I think somewhere over here in this area is a much stronger area to test. So I'm going to take the very last swing point over here, and then I'm just going to drag it through. So this is the very first area that needs to be tested after we've broken these lows, if we do break these lows on gold. And then obviously this area over here is the very first point of resistance, trying to prevent us from going higher. And then it's followed up by this one. So I'm going to just remove some of these drawings, things that, first and foremost, this is an area of interest. This is the first area that needs to be tested. If it fails, we will test this area down here, which is the second area of interest. We have a bit of support and resistance here, but that's only because we've had reaction, breakthrough, and a test. So this is a break and retest on this. So this is the initial first test. This is the not higher time frame, but the higher up testing point. You can see that it's the exact same reaction here. Tries to break through, fails, and then eventually when it breaks through, it retests and then pushes lower, which has happened over here. So this is my higher area of support / resistance, and then same as this area down here. If price breaks through and tests this, the same is going to happen here. If price breaks through this and retests it, then this is the area that will be tested afterwards. So those are the areas that I am looking for. Oopsie. This is the immediate area of test, this line over here. So this is a break and a retest. So now we're waiting for the reaction off of the support area down here. To me, gold is a little bit more bearish now. Yesterday we had this struggle between these two areas. We had the struggle around this area, and then we had to struggle around this area to try and break through. And now that we've broken through and retested it, I have a feeling that we're going to try and retest it again just to confirm that this is the direction that the market wants to go into, and then we might see a bit more sell-off. We are closer to the 4K area. We just wicked into 4K, which was 3998, and then we reacted off of it. So let's wait and see how this reaction is going to play out. Don't really care in which direction. If we start pushing higher, we've already broken higher than the most recent swing. No, we've just wicked above it. We haven't closed above. This is the most recent high swing. So you came down into this support area, reacted off of it, and then started pushing lower again, making a new low. So this is the most recent high swing, technically. So from this point over here, price pushed lower. Now we've come back to it. So now we need to see if we're going to close above this area specifically. So we have a swing point, which has yet to be broken. And then we have a swing point down over here, which needs to be tested. I just want to make sure that yeah, here we go. So already making a lower low, lower high in relation to the previous high and low. Now we're making a higher high in relation to the previous one, but we need to see if there's going to be follow through of any sort, really. Right. While I'm waiting for Will to pitch up, he's in a meeting at the moment. Once he's done with the meeting, he will join us. I will have a look at chat. First and foremost, as always, it's MGN. Good morning, MGN. How are you, mate? Sigma FX. Good morning, all. Good morning, Sigma. How are you, mate? Were you in yesterday? I don't remember seeing you yesterday. Annie Forever. Morning, fellas. Good morning, Annie. How are you? Sorry, Pooley 888. What's up, Pooley? How are you, my friend? You've been a bit quiet. Not as vocal as you normally are. You okay, dude? We've got In the Wilds, LO. What's up, In the Wilds? And we've got Infinity. Good morning, Infinity. If you guys want to tell me what it is that you're looking at and what you're currently in, or you would like me to look at something, then I'll do so with all of the love in the world. And if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, please, and then subscribe. Would love to get to 100 subscribers, and then eventually from there get to 200, then 500, then 1,000, and then we get our very first play button. That would be awesome. And then after that, we're going to go for thousands and thousands. We want to be the biggest YouTube trading stream ever. I think it's going to take a while, but we can get there. I think we can. Yeah. All right, so that's gold. Gold for me at the moment is showing a little bit of downward momentum just on the Tokyo session from yesterday. This downward channel has technically been broken now. Makes sense because we've reached an area of interest far to the left. I know there are people that do trade channel breaks. So you'll have a break and then a retest on the channel and then continuation, which is fine. So yeah, if you are looking for buys from here with this reaction, maybe first have a failed attempt to push lower and then start pushing higher. So yeah, it's the waiting game. We need to wait and see whether or not we're going to have the reaction that we are looking for in this area. Personally, we are a bit more bearish if I just go over to the daily. Okay, there's a lot of drawings here now. Let's remove this one. But yeah, you guys get the idea. I think I can hide them. Is it this one? Hide drawings. Yeah, there we go. We are... Okay, anyway. You can see that we have multiple bearish days now since last week Thursday. So the question is, how deep is this push going to go? We have an area of interest right over here, which is where we are basically right now. So if I just move this out of the way and I take this whole area here, this is the daily. I'm going to put it as a hourly base, just so it's different color. We just touched it now. Question is, how strongly are we going to try and break into this bullish area right now? Because this is technically the last downward attempt that the bears had to try and push gold price lower. And then obviously the bulls took over with 6 consecutive days of bullish pressure, which then ended up failing here. Started pushing a little bit lower. Now, if we look at the fib on the daily alone, we've already pushed through the half 0.5%. We closed below it. We closed below the 0.618 as well, and we've wicked into the 0.718 as well today, as well as yesterday. So it's already looking like a little bit deeper pullback than we'd normally see on gold, as an example. So it does look like it's a complete reversal from this upward push that we've had over here. But that's just my opinion. I do think that gold, we're not going to see all-time highs again this year. I don't think we're going to come and test up here. to be dead honest. The reason is, look at this reaction. This is strong volumetric reaction, and we're now currently on the 18th. We have 2 weeks left, and then this month is over. And then we've got December, and December is not known for its large volumetric pushes in a specific direction. It's usually a slowed down time frame or time period. People are going on holiday, businesses are closing for that holiday section, that, you know, they start balancing all of their books, all of that kind of stuff, getting ready for the next tax year. Especially in South Africa, tax year is February. So December, everybody's already starting getting information together for the tax year. So yeah, don't expect gold to hit all-time high this year. Next year, I think, is a completely different story. We made a valiant attempt over here in the last 4 days, but this reaction is as strong as, for argument's sake, this downward push that we've had here, and then indecision in this area down here where my bullish base is, and then an attempt to push higher, and then a push lower. So you want to see follow through. So it would have been, if we were really going to push higher, we would have had this rally, an attempt to push lower, so one or two bearish candles, and then it would have been followed up by some strong upward momentum. So for me, a little bit bearish. Well, it's bearish, definitely bearish. Question is, how deep is this bearish push going to go? Are we going to push lower than this support/resistance area, this bullish 1 hour or one daily base? Still begs to be seen. But as it stands right now, gold bearish. I will look for the reaction on the day. Now, let me preface this. Even though it's bearish at the moment, I'm willing to buy when it's bearish. The overarching theme is bearish at the moment, but within the day, there is movement for potential buys. Not maybe necessarily according to my strategy, but if somebody wants to buy when we're going down, this is not financial advice, but it depends on what strategy you're using and what kind of trader you are. If you are a scalping trader, you honestly don't care about bias. You don't care in which direction the price is going, because you're going to be in and out of the market quick enough that the overarching bias doesn't really matter. Like, for argument's sake, even though it's bearish down here, you might be somebody that tries to steal something like that. I don't know. Like, let's say you're somebody that scalps, and you try and scalp when you've touched an area of interest and rejected off of it. This is a buy during a downward channel. So, not saying it's wrong or anything. Myself, I prefer following the trend. I like going along with the trend. So it's not to say you can't trade it. Anyway, heading back to the chat. Infinity asks, Rich, can we MT5 bot in Fiverr's accounts? Can we use an MT5 bot in the Fiverr's accounts? Okay, so when it comes to bot trading or EA, expert advisor trading, it's not disallowed in the Fivers. So if you go and look at their T's and C's, you'll see that EA bot trading is allowed, but there's a preface, there's a caveat. And the caveat is that you, the person who is doing the evaluation of that account, or the person that's got the live account, you must understand exactly what is written in that code of that EA. Meaning that you should be the proprietary owner of that EA. So it can't be an EA that you have bought from a website that somebody else has made. You need to have the source file for that EA. Now, MGN can give you some really good information about that, because he himself is somebody that makes EAs, and he understands what is I wouldn't say the legality of it, but like what is the requirements by prop firms when it comes to EAs. So the thing is, an EA is something that trades on your behalf. And if somebody else has made an EA for you and you're the only one using it, then that's fine. But if it's one that is readily available online and everybody is downloading it and using it, technically what's happening is you, the person that's being evaluated, is not the one trading the account. It's the bot. And the bot is not even your proprietary information. It's someone else's. So that's like saying I am buying an account for my wife and letting my wife trade, but it's not her trading, it's me trading. So I'm the one that's trading her account. They're going into a contract with her, but I'm the one that's trading it. That's not how the Fiverse works. So I would always preface saying go and have a look at the T's and C's and read them properly. And if you don't understand them, you can either ask support to clarify the information, or you can ask in their Discord for the information. There will be people in the community that will have the answers, or like now where we're having a discussion now about it. When it comes to EA trading, I would just always be careful. You need to have the source code. You need to be the one that knows exactly how it works. It's best to rather make it yourself, your own EA. That's the best way to do it. Then you know that if they do come and ask for it, then you can say, but look, here's the source file. I'm the one that created this. This is how it works exactly. You need to understand the code. So I would say that's the best bet. We've had a break of the Tokyo high on EU and GU, so waiting to retest to see if it can go higher. All right, let's have a look at GU. Strong reaction on both of them. Did we have news? I don't think we've had news. Let's have a look quickly. This is GU and that's EU. We've attempted to push lower. It does make sense. Let's just start on GU. So we have this area from last night where we've consolidated, tried to push lower, failed, retried to push lower, started reacting strongly off of it, came down for a retest, reacted off it, and a retest yet again to try and push higher. So it could be that we are really struggling to push lower. But then again, if you look at GU is not the best at the moment, to be dead honest with you. It's really struggling to pick a side. It's making higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower highs. And it's just, there's no concrete direction that it wants to go in. Even yesterday, if you have a look at yesterday, we started pushing lower from the daily open. Very nice. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We reached a low point, and then we had this volumetric move out of it. And then instead of having follow through, we started making a higher low, lower high, lower low, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high yet again. So we're really struggling to pick a side with GU at the moment. GU to me is just really struggling with GU at the moment. GU is not the greatest. So even though we've had this reaction over here, I want to see the follow through. I want to see us really, really react strongly from here and then say, okay, cool, we can maybe come and test up over here or test this area on the left where we had a strong reaction off of. So I still think that let's do this. I just want to see if there's a specific area where price was testing and then reacted off of. So something like this. It's not the best reactionary area because it's on the 15-minute with 0 wick. It's 1 wick, but like a strong reaction off of. This was on Friday. Yeah, I'll just keep this area in mind. We do have this consolidation area over here. Oopsie, misclicked. area of consolidation where it really slowed down attempting to push higher and then started pushing lower, but it hasn't been retested. So this is potentially an area to be tested if this gets broken. If this high swing over here. So wait, let me remove this. Let me add a high swing there. That's a swing point. So even though we're having this strong reaction now on the 5 minute, the reaction is from here, which makes sense because it's multiple tests on this downward direction, trying to push bearish. Consolidation, retest, breakout, retest, breakout, retest, breakout yet again with a lot more conviction now. So now we need to see the follow through. We need to see whether or not it wants to start pushing higher. Where is it turning? That was the wick. Yeah. If we have follow through, then yes, we can come and test the swing area up over here. And then we can also then potentially test the highs, which is at 132 to 1321. But first, we need to try and test 1319, which is about 26 or so pips away. We need to follow through. If we don't get it and it starts coming down here, then I will just leave GU. Just leave it untouched. We do have the high of Tokyo that needs to be tested as well. Yeah, this area first. We need to see how it reacts off of the Tokyo high, which we've jumped in between, where we touched multiple times in between it. And now we've had the very first break, really, after testing an area of interest multiple times. So reaction here is going to be first and foremost. And then you said EU as well. Let's have a look at EU. EU is a bit more bearish, even though we've started to attempt to push a bit more bullish now. We do have... I must click again, yeah. Okay, so we have this area down here. Area of interest looks good. Downward momentum, an attempt to push higher. We failed to break. We broke one recent high swing, but the secondary high swing we have yet to break. We just broke it now and then started pushing lower. I'm still bearish on EU, to be honest. Even though we've had a little bit of resistance here, this move, this nice volumetric move on the 15-minute is busy being eaten up completely. This might just be an impulsive decision. I would have wanted to see it at least slow down a little bit at the top and then start pushing up again. So high was broken and closed above, but zero follow through whatsoever. Yeah, there's not enough of a follow through. Yeah. EU will have to wait. EU is a little bit sideways as of last night. We have broken the highs of New York. Just wicked it. This is the first time that we've closed through, but zero follow through. We'll have to see what the day is going to present. It might be the same as yesterday, where we attempt to push higher, come a little bit lower, retrace, and then continue lower, but with very little momentum. Very little momentum. Where GU, on the other hand, had some momentum to push higher, which then eventually failed, and then we retraced and started pushing lower. So there is a potential for GU to maybe have decided on a direction and start pushing up. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Quibus Quisson, good morning, Quibus. How are you, my friend? Agree. Currently in a long from 405 on gold. So you must have entered somewhere down here. That makes sense. From 405 somewhere over there. Take the liquidity that was stuck down here and then start pushing higher. I would wonder where you're aiming for. I mean, gold looks nice and bullish now. Finally have the break and close on the 5 minute of this recent swing point. Yeah, I like this. Gold is looking good. 5 minute over there, and then another 5 minute base over there. Looking good on gold for some proper movements, potentially. Yeah, I like that. Infinity saying, no, I have my own. I just use it on MT5. I have my own source code. In that case, it's fine, Infinity. Then if you have the source code and it's the one that you own, it's your proprietary information, then there's no problem with you using it in the Fiverr's, on a Fiverr's account. The thing is just that if they do ask you for information, you need to be able to supply that information. So that's why you need to have the source code. But if you have it, all good, mate. Then you can use it. There's no problem. But remember that EA and your trading style must still align with the rules that the Fivers have. Like, for argument's sake, the daily drawdown, you have to have a stop loss, not allowed to trade during news on some accounts, etc., etc., etc. So make sure that EA conforms to the rules of the account that you're trading, be it a bootcamp, a high stakes, or a hyper growth. Doesn't matter. Make sure that your rules always is adhered to. Nice move on gold. I'm done for today. Great, Kubas. That is good news, mate. If you can get all of your trading done early in the morning, the rest of the day is completely open for you. So, yeah. Target was the open. Awesome. So, open of the day. If you got in at 105, I'm going to say 105 flat-ish. You're aiming for the open of the day, which is right up over there. So that's 45. You're getting very close to it. Obviously, this is on MT5. Not MT5. This is on on TradingView. On MT5, the open might be slightly different depending on your data feed, where it is that you're getting your data from for the broker. Or if it's a Fiverr's account, it's going to be roughly the same as the Owanda one. The Fiverr's itself uses multiple data sets for the information, but in general, the Owanda one is close enough. In the Wild saying, took a cheeky long on gold, hit TP now. Awesome, mate. I'm happy to see that. I'm going to see if it is in the Discord. And yes, it is. Beautiful, mate. That's really good. I like that. Your entry was at 40115. And your take profit was at 4038. Oh, dude, that's lovely. That's a 25 point move. $25 move. So 2,500 points. Dude, that's good. I like that. Awesome. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, no problem, mate. Like the information that we give here is only because of the information that we have ourselves asked to other people. And gotten clarification on. But obviously, being in the market for long enough, there's certain things that just you won't always know, and then you have to ask somebody else. And sometimes you get the right information, and then it just works. Apologies. I need to quickly have a look here. If Will was here, he could have taken over from me. All right. Okay. Cool. It is the Fiverr's Discord. Not Discord. WhatsApp group. And if there's messages that go through there, you need to make sure that you go and have a look as quick as possible. Otherwise, you might miss valuable information about the stream and so on. So I want to have a look at US Tech. I got a sneaky trade last night. Let me just switch on the EA again, just to kind of like show. So during the first portion of the day, I had marked out a trade over here, but had not taken it. Wasn't really paying attention and missed it. But then we had this move down on NASDAQ, all the way down, lovely. Then New York opened up. We have a nice reaction. It breaks, but does not close. A swing point over here. Oh, wrong button. Breaks, but does not close above it, and then starts pushing lower. We have a reattempt to push higher during this area over here, and then just starts pushing lower. Price then, as the London session comes to a close, price pushes up yet again, but does not break this previous high point. So we're making a lower low in relation to the previous low, and we're making a lower high in relation to the previous one, and then we started to drift. And then as we started pushing down here, I took a trade on one of my other accounts. I just want to confirm the price, 25.021. 21. $21.34. And my stop loss was at 25.071.34, and my take profit was at 24.871.33. That was the trade that I took last night, as we were coming down from, or as we were ending the London session. This was the only trade that I took yesterday. Was just this one. Was a nice little move, a 1-2-3. It's my first 1-2-3 trade that I've taken in a while. Thanks for that, in the wild. That's very nice. Get ready for some love. Your chart analysis and breakdowns are great, articulate and informative. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. It's always just what I see, and I don't always have the best way of explaining what it is that I see, because in my mind it makes sense, but the moment I want to say it, I've basically already said it in my mind. And then when I try and explain it, then it doesn't always come out the way that I want to. And also on top of that, there's so many different things that people name different things. Like for arguments, like I call them bases, and other people call them. Now I've literally gone order blocks. They call them order blocks. So there's just different names for different things, and in my mind, it makes sense to me for what it is that I look for. But anyway, thank you for that. In the wilds, I do appreciate the comment. So yeah, I am receptive of your love for my analysis. Love for my analysis. Anyway, so this trade, the reason why I took it was, like I explained, we struggled to make a higher high, which to me indicated that even though we were bearish over the day and we've had an attempt to try and push higher, it was short-lived. Strong reactions, pushing lower, a little bit of consolidation, another push lower, making a new low. A wick is enough for a new low. Price actually went to that point. So price did push lower than the previous point. Price then reacted strongly up higher, but if I look towards the left, I didn't really see anything that made all that much sense for that reaction. There was a little bit of consolidation over here, and there was a little bit of a reactionary point on, what was this, Friday the 14th, Tokyo low. But we had dipped so deep down that I thought there's a potential for us to maybe come and test a little bit lower. And anyway, so from there on, when we made this very nice bearish candle after a very, very small area of indecision, the EMA doesn't really matter. The EMA wasn't being used in this trade. I may as well just hide it, but the point still stood that I thought that we could come and test this low of the London session, at least. And it was perfect. Absolutely a perfect trade. I took had a little bit of a what do you call it? Slip. Very, very, very slight. But that's, if you have a look at, for argument's sake, the Fiverr's data feed, there is a little bit of spread, and it seemed as though there was a little bit of volatility here. So when I did enter, I entered the moment the candle closed. The moment this candle closed, I entered, and I got slipped ever so slightly. Didn't really matter. Just absolutely tanked down. So this was a lovely trade. Didn't put it in the Discord because straight after this, I switched everything off, had dinner, and watched an episode of The Physical Asia on Netflix. And then from there on, just went to bed. So yeah, this was a great trade that I had yesterday. Very happy for it. Only trade yesterday. It's okay. Now, if we look at what happened today, this area down here is a much further back area of interest that I'm thinking we can potentially come and aim for if I just go over to the daily. It doesn't really make sense on the daily for us to come and test here, but if I go down to the 4 hourly, it is a potential area to be tested. So if I just pull back a little bit, pull back even more, actually, I think it might be on the hourly. Yeah, it's on the hourly. But I think it got moved a little bit. It was supposed to be like this. So if we go back, yeah, this was it. So this was the area that I was looking at potentially being, there's a gap that was made, and the gap was just barely filled over here. And then the next time we came back to it, we reacted nicely off of it. So I think that this is a potential area roughly around 24,360 and 24,24 that we can potentially come and test, even though we've had slightly lower lows. So if this was the low point, we're making a lower low. We just wicked this low, so it's basically an equal low. So I would like to see the reaction that we have from here. And then this upper band was just a nice area that we had a nice volumetric reaction of. Break, retest, and then a push lower volumetrically. But this obviously being the decision point, being this candle over here on the hourly, because this is the last hourly attempt to push up higher, and then we just absolutely failed down. So very first area of test, if we do start going, well, not the first one, but an area of that we can test when we start pushing bullishly. We do also have these 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, and then a breakthrough with no real retest except for one specific candle, but this is too early. It's too quick on the hourly. If I go down to the 15, they might be, yeah, the 15 looks a lot better. So push lower, breakthrough, retest, and continue lower. So this is where we reacted off yesterday. If I just bring in, this is on the 15. So if I just take this whole 15 minute, this was the largest area of bullish pressure to try and break this downward bearish run. And that's where we tested on Friday high. We consolidated around this area, we broke into it, and then we pushed lower, retested, pushed lower. Not really a retest, this is more of a retest of this consolidation, and then we just absolutely pushed lower. I'm still a little bit bearish on NAS, purely for the fact that even though we have these two low points down here and this reaction, we have a lot to come and test for. So this break, retest, and push lower volumetrically Now we need to see how it's going to react off of this break and retest of yesterday. 1, 2, 3, break, retest at the end of the day, beginning of the morning. Again, a secondary retest, and then an absolute sell-off in relation to the previous sell-off. It's pretty good. So trying to push up back higher. We need to see how it's going to react closer to the stop point. If it doesn't react in the way of like pushing through it to come and test this area, I do believe that we can come and test the low of Tokyo again and potentially break lower down into this 2436-ish areas. It's all going to depend on whether or not we have this break and test and this break and test. That's all. So it's all just the waiting game for me right now. Thanks, Rich. We'll join again tomorrow. Thank you very much for being here, Kobus. We really appreciate you being in. See you tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the Apex Brotherhood. Will is very long in his meeting. Like, geez. Like, when are you going to be back, mate? He'll be back at some point. Anyway. So, I'm looking for some trades. These are the 4 pairs that I have on my stream account that I'm going to look for. GU is starting to have a bit of a reaction. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit on these ones, just so I can see. We had the break, test lower. So this is basically break, failed the retest, broke through. Now we're going to come and test this area down here. Let's make this area down here a little bit more cohesive. So we'll take the lows and this area of consolidation. We had 1, 2 reactions off of it. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep that area. 1, 2 tests, and then a reaction, break through the highs, failed the retest. Cannot see really if there's an area for us to really test. I think this was too much of a impulsive move. I think the market is reacting to an impulsive move and now waiting. Wait, I didn't even have a look at news. Unemployment claims? Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. That's what that move is. That was unemployment claims. Yeah, this was unemployment. Ah. You see, it helps if you go and have a look at news. What a weird time to come and bring unemployment claims out. I checked the news this morning. This wasn't here. And then just the news bot. Yeah, the news bot didn't pick it up. So they've added this. This was an unexpected addition. Probably designing some Apex boxer shorts to add to his apparel collection. Yeah, that is probably what's going to happen. But literally boxer shorts. And then it's going to have boxing gloves with the Apex logo on it. Must be the government reopening. It is probably what's happening. But I mean, 10 past 10 in my time in the morning. That's like 2 o'clock in the morning by them. Yeah, I don't... let's have a look at the news, if there's anything that's popping up on Forex Factory. Let's see. Just a tweet, nothing else. Yo, what's up, mate?
What's up, man? You right? Sorry, guys. I'm late, but better to be late than never, I suppose.
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Dude, we had unemployment claims pop out just 10 minutes past 10 my time, just as London was opening.
Well, that'd be
From the-
10 past 8.
Yeah, 10 past 8 your time.
Yeah.
But US dropping some news roughly just after London open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the reaction was this nice candle over here, and I didn't know. I checked the news this morning, and that wasn't there. Because I was like, okay, cool, free reign to trade on Tuesday, no issues, no problem. And then MGN says, oh, we've had the break now. I was busy breaking down gold and looking at gold and whatnot. Look at GU, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, we've had the reaction on EU and GU, a nice break. But it seemed a little impulsive, didn't want to trade it, was waiting for the follow-through.
Yeah, nice.
Went back to go and check news, and then unemployment claims. What the hell, mate?
Do you know what you should have been doing?
Tell
Keeping
me.
an eye on that news bot.
Dude, go have a look at the news bot, and then rethink that statement you just made now.
Oh, shit, mate. Yeah, fair point.
The news bot only MGN can probably explain this better, but I mean the news bot only takes into consideration if there's
News that is going to happen.
that is I don't know, not tentative, as an example.
Yeah, fair. So, I'm hearing rumors that this government shutdown is going to open back up.
Yes. There was a
Do you have a date on that?
a bill or a brief or something that was taken out of the Senate that was sent to Trump's desk for his signature and input. But when exactly that is, I don't know. But the fact that we're getting unemployment claims now, basically 2 o'clock in the morning US time, is making me wonder whether or not they've opened up.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the other.
Good sign. Well, it's not a good sign. Where no one wants to see unemployment claims just rip us apart.
I mean, we had unemployment claims were supposed to come out Thursday, which was tentative. So here's unemployment claims. Tentative Thursday the 20th.
just shows post in the Discord. Banter Brothers, hoorah!
Hoorah! I was going through a very nice trade that I took last night on NAS.
Oh, nice. Lovely stuff, mate. Let's have a look at. Ooh, that's a very nice trade, mate. Is that a breakout trade?
No, not quite. So this was the trade that I marked yesterday, but I didn't take. I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for, but I'm trying to have my NAS and gold trades during the New York session, because I'm not as experienced with NAS, but I'm starting to pick up things that it's doing and when it's starting to do them. This would have been in line with my EU-GU strategy. So I just marked it
Nice.
for a test just to kind of like see how it's going to go. Then what happened was we had this dwindle lower during the London session. New York opens up. We have a strong reaction during New York, but we just took a little bit of liquidity that was sitting above this swing point over here. Price then started pushing a little bit lower. We consolidated ever so slightly, started pushing lower, wicked just below that New York open swing. So in my mind, this is what I was thinking in the moment. If you had opening range breakout traders, which seems to be the flavor of the day, all right? Everybody's doing the opening range breakout. So everybody would have tried to, depending on what was the opening range, whether it was an hour or whatever, but let's say it was an hour. So from here to 1630, which was over here. So this was the range. From this point up over here to there, but then to that was the opening range. Price then just wicked below here, potentially, people thinking, okay, we're going to start pushing higher. They started pushing up. We did not reach a new high. So I thought, okay, we're not reaching a new high. We're making a lower high. This is technically a lower low in relation to the open of New York. This is a lower high in relation to the swing open, basically, of New York. And then we just started dwindling lower. This nice bullish, bearish candle that we had here, I was like, we're not making a new high. We technically made a new low. I think we're going to go lower from here. Place my trade there. 1 to 3, mate.
Beautiful, man. What was that? What was the stop as well? How tight was that stop loss?
500 points.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, dude,
So,
that's super nice.
$50 on NAS movement. Say again.
That's the 5-minute time frame.
Yeah. If you look at the
dude,
15, if you look at the 15, we had such a nice volumetric movement up, and then just it started pushing lower. And I just thought it's not going to carry on going higher. I can't see this wanting to push higher. I really don't. This push that we had with the New York Open was immediately taken up, the whole movement. So if you put a fib down here and up over there, the whole movement was taken up. And then we tried pushing higher, and I just thought there's no reason for it to want to come and push up here. If it had follow through, if this candle over here on the 15 minutes started pushing higher, then I was like, okay, cool, we're probably going to go higher, but we didn't. So yeah, this was my NAS trade.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, that's a super cool trade.
Yeah, no, I loved it. And also we had this very slight amount of indecision here on the 5-minute. Very, very slight, and then a sudden drop. And I was like, okay, this knows where it wants to go. It wants to... oops, I don't want to remove that one. This one wants to carry on going lower. And then it did. And now we're slowly dwindling a little bit higher on the 5-minute. We're making higher highs and higher lows. If I just go into the 15-minute, we've got one bullish base. After an attempt to push lower, slight lower, but no follow through to try and push lower yet again. So we'll see how NAS is going to play out. I do think that we can potentially come and test this break area over here, which is we had this breakthrough down here.
Do you reckon we're going to test that high though?
1, 2. Yeah, I want to see this. This I want to see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
The reason for it is
I could see
1
that.
wick, 2 wick, a third wick, break, retest, second retest. Even though we've had very nice volumetric push lower, it did break this local swing point down here. So I want to see if there's follow through. I want to see if it wants to go test again and then absolutely tank down. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that.
Part of me would prefer to see the break and retest of that previous low. Move forward.
Do you want to see it go lower?
Yeah, move forward. Down a bit. Whoa. Previous low from there. Previous low from there.
This one.
Yes. We've got the break of this low there. Yeah. I like where it's at now. That's quite a nice zone for me right there. But having said that, the way you've just analyzed and broken down that trade idea does actually look quite nice, doesn't it?
It's all going to depend on the momentum. For me, it's all going to depend on that. We have break.
It depends on what's happening with this government shutdown. Like, if we're going to open back up, dude, like the next two, then I don't know. I don't know what to say because I'm thinking.
Remember Friday, mate. Friday is a very big news day. And if the government is opening up now and it's going to start dogpiling news events upon news events, the next 2 to 3 weeks is going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, well, not only that as well. Like, how long have we been in government shutdown for in America?
More than a month.
Yeah, dude,
almost 2 months now.
that takes us to this time next year. This time next year. That takes us to the following year. Like that takes us into like January 26, maybe even February. We won't have normal trading now. I reckon till February.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have just a mass influx until early December of all sorts of fundamentals. And then we're going to have the Christmas period, which is always going to be a little bit flat anyway. And then January is going to be everyone's just coming back into the market. So it's going to be a massive influx in again. I don't think we're going to, if we're going to have a governmental lift now, I don't think we're going to see normal price trading until February.
Do you know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about those days where they decide to just release the information unexpectedly. Where you expect a regular trading day because there's no news from the US, quote unquote, that is being scheduled. And then suddenly you have a reaction, like for argument's sake this morning, where the unemployment claims gets brought out as London is opening up. Like, that's I'm going to screw with you news event. You cannot plan for it. You cannot... your expectation is things are going to go normally, and then all of a sudden, fuck, what now? You know? So... It's going to make me super cautious about when I'm going to look at trading. And going to have to keep this... this thing open maybe on the side over here just so that I can always keep an eye on the news and just, you know, like update it every few minutes. Just refresh it. Yeah, don't want to get screwed.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's like you said, you know, you don't want to be caught with your pants between your ankles sort of thing.
So the news on GU pushed it above the Tokyo session. Came back in, consolidated a little bit on the 5, tried to push higher, and now is pushing lower. This information here was unexpected. This move was an impulsive move, unexpected. Market doesn't know what to do with it. Annie saying, "Hey Will,
how's it going, man?"
And then MGN saying, yeah, the news bot fetched news from FF a few times a day, and the rest of the time it checks for internal DB.
Yeah.
No idea what FF and DB stands for, but okay.
Forex Factory and database, I'm assuming.
Nice, nice.
Thank you.
You're a smarter man than I.
See? Technology.
Technology. I think we're going to come and take this low. That's what I'm thinking.
What's on GU?
Yeah, GU. Bit of consolidation during the start of the day on Tokyo. One attempt to push lower, failed. We had two reactions trying to push lower, and then the news happened. I think this area over here, if the news didn't come out, I think that this section over here was potentially going to break lower. That's what I'm thinking. We had this consolidation on the left, one attempt, pushed higher, but then we just consolidated once again. An attempt to push lower, a retest, and then a push lower yet again. Technically a higher low in relation to this swing, but a lower low in relation to this swing over here. This then just had a nice wicky candle into that consolidation area. Nice strong reaction, and then it started to push lower. If this news event did not come out, I honestly think that we would have pushed lower. That's my opinion. I honestly think that that is what was going to happen. So, yeah. I think that news event screwed a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty fuming over what's happened. Have you heard about Trump actually trying to sue the BBC as well?
Yeah. But he's actually got a case. He really does. What happened there
100%.
was
People are saying that he doesn't have a case. Like they're like, oh yeah, he doesn't have a case. The BBC are like,
No,
oh,
he's
we're
got a
not
case, man.
worried. It's like, dude, how are you not worried?
Dude,
Like,
the two CEOs of BBC stepped down. They stepped
Did they?
down. No, like last week, they resigned.
Mate,
So,
I'm not surprised. Like I said, I've not been watching it. You know, I don't watch the news. It's the first time I sat and watched the news last night, and bro, my brain was fried. I was like, no wonder I don't watch the bloody news.
Yeah. So the allegations with this that the BBC brought out images, a video that was edited. There were sections cut out where they said that Trump, was inciting violent riots, the same as happened in that June 6th government attack, basically. You know, where they, they broke into the governmental buildings. So the BBC brought out this video and this interview and blah blah, all of this information saying that this is what Trump has been claiming. Turns out it was completely edited. It was completely cut up and repasted together, and then so was technically false, because if you watch the full unedited information that was the speech that was given, nowhere is he claiming that there needs to be riots and whatnot. So he actually has a defamation case because it's edited, it's falsified, it's not the full story. That's why the two BBC CEOs stepped down. Yeah, exactly. What, the media did some manipulative editing to sensationalize a story? Yeah, it's...
Yeah, no,
Look,
I don't know why we're acting surprised, to be fair.
No, we're not surprised.
This is literally why I don't watch the news. The only news that I'll actually take into consideration and watch is I think it's Forex Factory, and what's the other one that I used?
Dude, Forex Factory lied to me this morning, so...
Yeah, I mean, fair. I can understand why you'd be fuming at Forex Factory. What's the other one that I use? TradingEconomics.com.
Yeah.
I do like TradingEconomics.com, but they got no reason to lie. They're not going to fabricate a story because they're not trying to sell views and trying to sell a story. Whereas everything on television, everything you see on television, there's a good chance it's fake.
Look, I don't care about Trump at all. Okay? I don't care about his politics or anything like that. What I do care about is that...
how it affects the markets.
Yes. That guy has cost me some money. Anyway, the point is being that I think manipulation is wrong. All right? And I also believe that there's good in bad and there's bad in good. I believe in balance. And the thing is, for all of the bad things that Trump is doing or saying or whatever, I don't think that every little thing that he has to say is a pile of dog crap. So I feel it's unfair what the BBC did to him. I do understand why they did it. I'm just saying 100%. That if he truly said that, then yes, bring out the information. Let's not hide it, But if you're going to fabricate or manipulate something and say, look, this person did this thing, that's kind of unfair. So,
in all fairness, the ability to understand why someone's done something is not a bad thing. I love history documentaries. I love World War II documentaries. And I'll be watching stuff and I'm not going to quote and I'm not going to give reference to who and what and where and why, but I'll be watching documentaries and I'm thinking, I can understand why the bad guy has done what he's done. I can understand why he's done that. Doesn't mean I think it's right, but I can understand why he's done it. Now, however, the good guys have had to step in because what he's done is wrong. It's simple as, it's bad, it's wrong, it's not good. But I can understand his thought process behind it. Now, the ability to understand someone's thought process and understand why they've done it, but still be able to understand that it's wrong, is a very talented thing to do. You know, to be able to put yourself in a position where you understand why the BBC may do what they do, whether it's good or bad, to understand why Trump is saying what he's saying, whether it's good or bad, and to not allow that to impair your decision on what you personally think is right and wrong. That's where the talent comes in, you know. So the ability to understand both sides of the party, it's actually a very good skill to have, and it's something you study in psychology. It's something that you develop during cognitive development in children, and it's called it's a bit like object permanence sort of thing. It's being able to see something that's the wrong one. Object permanence is being able to see something or know something exists even when it's not there. It's I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me. But basically, being able to understand that there's more than just what you see in front of you. So, for example, if I'm looking at a TV screen, it's flat. It's a 2D object. It's flat. But if I look at it from a different angle, the shape is different. Now, some people don't actually develop this fully when they're going through cognitive development as a kid. And it's the inability to put themselves in someone else's shoes. And it's like that lacking in what's called empathy. And a lot of people don't have that. So to be very empathetic, to be able to put yourself in the brain process and put yourself in a situation where you can understand what the other side is doing is a very good skill to have. And it's the same with trading. And when it comes to trading, the ability to understand how your trade may not be valid and to be able to weigh up, and that it's literally just weighing up pros and cons, to be able to understand that there are buys in the market here, and I can understand that there's buys in the markets here, but there are also sells. Now, sells are more valid for me, and this is my plan, so I'm not going to let the potential sell opportunities shade or cast shade on my plan. Just a bit of trivia for you at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Nice. Just want to get to this. BBC haven't got a leg to stand on with this manipulation at its best. Sam saying, Forex Factory says the news event was released at 8:10 UK time, but the impulse up on GU occurred at 8 a.m. and dropped at 8:10 fishy. Okay, so here's what I think happened. This was not supposed to be a scheduled release. And what happened was the information was released, and only then did it pop onto Forex Factory because they didn't know it was going to be released. So
I think it was more of
the lateness of it. They tried to bring it on as quickly as they could, but by that time,
I don't think there's supposed to be a latency.
Yeah, there was a little bit. And then obviously Sigma's, what? The media didn't love this comment. Unbiased trader, morning both. Good morning, unbiased trader. Only consult news once VIX goes beyond certain. Till then, I just manage my normal strategy.
Dude, I'm the same, to be fair. I'm the same. I'll check the news, but I don't really take into consideration too much of the news. I stay away from news, high impact events and medium impact events. But the rest of the time, I just trade my strategy, man.
Yeah, this comment, for example, the BBC versus Trump, I think in general, or regards to the BBC versus Trump, I think in general, mainstream media needs to be transparent. Till then, I stay away. So the thing is, I agree with this. The media is supposed to be transparency. They're supposed to be the gap between what is being said and what is not being said. They're supposed to be the front runners of honesty and objectivity. Now, we know that manipulation takes place because there's a narrative and they want to control the narrative. So we know that a lot of media outlets and whatnot are owned by very, very powerful large corporations and all that kind of like stuff. So we know that there's manipulation happening. Now, the thing is, I'm one of those people that say, if you've done something wrong and it comes to light, then there needs to be either atonement or there needs to be some sort of reprimanding action that takes place. In this case, Trump is doing a lot of shit things, fair. And he should be reprimanded for those crappy things that he's doing. But the good things that he's doing shouldn't be twisted and turned around as if it's bad, as an example. So give due diligence when due diligence is due. And in this case, he didn't say anything remotely to that, to what the BBC was trying to allude to, or kind of like claim that he did. So in this case, the BBC was wrong, and they should be reprimanded for it. I am bearish on DAX today and took a hit this morning, looking for another opportunity to short, and then I am done for the day. Unbiased trader, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I got a really, really good trade last night on NAS, and I know you do like DAX. Who was it that it was? It was Mr. Brown. What was his first name?
Say it again.
The guy in chat that used to really Paul Brown that used to love the DAX.
Oh my god, yeah, Paul. Oh, I missed
Where
Paul.
is Paul?
Where's Paul? Can someone locate Paul Brown?
Yeah, and bring him in.
I love Paul.
Unbiased Traders got a new DAX friend. The two of them can
Paul,
like really talk.
And yeah, Unbiased Trader, you and Paul would have got along really well, man.
But then again, I did promise Unbiased Trader that we would start having a look at DAX if he joined the Discord, and which he did. He did join the Discord. So I think it's only fair that we start looking at the DAX as well. So do you have DAX on your terminal?
I can get it. I don't know. Let me have a look. Indices. No, okay, I'll need to go the long way around. Get DAX, the beautiful mighty DAX. Oh, Paul, man, God, you made me laugh. Can someone check the DAX, the beautiful mighty DAX? He still makes me chuckle. Right, okay, I got the DAX up now.
Got the DAX as well.
Oh, for God's sake, you gotta save me some time, Rich.
Dude, you're the one that arrived an hour late to stream, so...
Hey, I was in a meeting, alright? I was the one running the shit behind the show. You just get to sit there and look pretty on stream.
Dude, I don't get to look pretty any fucking time of the day.
No, that's true. You get to sit on stream and maybe you're not looking pretty. I'm sorry, guys, I had to leave you alone with him unsupervised for an hour. Are you guys okay? Dude, I had a curry last night. My stomach is killing me. So, a bit of backstory is I'm trying to get used to spice. My partner, CC, as you guys, some of you guys know, she loves spice, man. She loves the spice. I do not love the spice. I just about like the spice. And we had a curry the other night. So I just got back from Italy. You know, we missed each other and we thought, should we go out for a curry? And she was like, oh, I'm really fancying one. I fancy a vindaloo. And for those of you who don't know, a vindaloo is the hottest curry you can get from just a standard Indian house around here. Anything hotter than a vindaloo is like a Vai or I don't know. Sam, if you're in chat, you're from India. Sam, let me know what's hotter than a vindaloo. It begins with a V, I'm pretty sure. And so she was like, I want a vindaloo.
Vindaloo starts with a V.
Yeah, no. What other than a vindaloo, Rich? Foul. It wasn't a V. It was an F. A foul. Oh. Yes. So she was like, what's hotter than a vindaloo? And the guy was like, oh, foul. And it was like, oh, okay. And I was like, see, do you want to just, get a vindaloo, girl? You don't know how hot it's going to be here. She was like, how hot is a vindaloo? And he's like, oh, it's very hot. He said, it's hot enough for me. Like, I wouldn't want it any hotter. So she's like, I'm in an hour. And she's like, and he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll get the guys to whip up some of the sauce and you can try it. So I was there drinking a pint of Cobra while we were waiting. He comes out with this teaspoon and was like, you want to try it? So she tries it and she goes, can we make it a little bit hotter? He's like, oh my God, really? He was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. She goes to me, babe, do you want to try some? I was like, not bloody really, no. And she was like, go on, try some. I dipped my finger on it and put it in my mouth. Oh my God, it was hot. Anyway, so she had an extra hot vindaloo. She left it. She ate half it and she left it because she was full. I was starving last night and I fancied something a bit spicy, but nothing too hot. So I was like, see, I'm gonna have the rest of your vindaloo. Is that okay? She was like, are you sure? I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. Dude, my mouth, my throat, my nose, I was like leaking from all crevices. Like, dude, it was awful. I woke up this morning, my stomach is cramping. Like I feel like I'm on my period. Like I've got stomach cramps. You know, like dude, I'm in a lot of pain.
I love hot food. Like
I
genuinely,
know that's why I kind of told you the story. I feel like you'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, I really, really love hot food. Alex, my wife, has we have something in South Africa called potjie. So potjie, is basically a cast iron pot that's got 3 legs. You get them in different sizes. You put that over hot coals or an open fire, and you would then make a stew in it, and then it will continuously like bubble through, and you try and regulate the temperature by bringing coals underneath it, pulling coals away, and so on and so forth. But it's generally something where there's many hours, like you leave it for many, many, many hours, allowing all of the flavors and everything to kind of like build up and so on. And she made a potjie for me with 2 Carolina Reapers in it. And that little pot was only for me. So it was about this size, the pot. And the content of it was only for me. So it was basically a butter chicken curry base with 2 Carolina Reapers in it. Dude, I loved that. That was amazing.
But like, dude, so do I. I love spicy food. You know, I do love spicy food. She's really gotten me into it, so especially cold spice. So like, I'll make like a really, really spicy ramen dish now, and like my lips go big. That's how hot it is. Like my lips swell up a bit. And I also make like a really spicy mashed boiled egg with avocado and mayonnaise. Really, really spicy. It's super nice. However, like curry, man, I don't know what it is. Like I like take a bite and like my throat just tingling. Like I get hiccups, it starts tingling, like really burning, my mouth is on fire. I'm like, this isn't spicy, man. This is just fucking hot. Like seriously, like I love the taste of it, but how do you physically cope with the symptoms? I can't do it. You okay, Rich?
Yeah. I'm just trying to
concentration. The way you just like edged like closer into the camera, I was like, Rich, are you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna ask Alex if we can have some curry tonight. Now you've awoken the need for curry in me. Just trying to have a look at how Dax moves, because I don't look at the Dax at all.
Dax can be quite volatile. When Dax gets going, it's a very trending. So when Dax gets going, it gets going.
How does it relate to the NAS? Oh, it's the opposite.
Yeah. Well, the NAS, it's complete. It's the Euro. It's the German 40. You know, it's the
It's
European.
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
No correlation. That's what I was trying to get to see if there was any sort of correlation.
No, there's no correlation at all.
Excuse me. Unbiased Trader saying I did trade NDX yesterday. 1 win, 1 loss, and Bitcoin 1 loss yesterday's trades. That's unfortunate, mate. Ooh, I wanted to. You didn't see it, maybe potentially, but this was my NAS trade This was just one that I marked. Didn't take this one. This one I took. 1 to 3
Yeah, nice.
trade.
Yeah, you showed
Unbiased trader. Pretty
Oh,
good trade.
I was going to say, dude, you've broken that down. But yeah, not fair.
Yeah, but I don't
no.
think Unbiased Trader was here when we had it.
Okay,
when we
fair.
had
Yeah, maybe not.
We've made a double top here on NAS. So try to push through yet again and has failed. Now it's just kind of like consolidating here. Same little area. So bound to struggle here. No follow through. So I don't know if we're going to carry on pushing up. We might just start dwindling down to here again. I don't think that this area is really much of a... Did it wick into this? No, didn't. Yeah. Dax is a cruel mistress.
Yeah, dude, Sigma FX, Dax is a cool mistress. It is. She really is a cruel gal.
Pooley saying massive correlation, 97% chance. So 97% correlation with which one, Pooley? Dax and what? Which one is massively correlated with it? Like, as you know, Pooley, the only indices that I have started to dabble in was NAS, the US Tech. And I know that you really like all of your... the NAS and the SPY. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that one I remembered when you said the S&P 500 and NAS. But I thought we were talking about DAX. S&P 500 is almost a 1-to-1 correlation. I mean, look at that. The correlation is crazy. Yeah. I think DAX is the canary in the coal mine at the moment. Could be. I mean, this is the Deutsch 30, the German 30.
Deutschland 30. No, it's German 40, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this on here it's German 30.
Is it? I thought it was German 40. Oh, fair.
Oh, here's the DAX, German 40. Yeah.
There you go. I was gonna say, yeah, that makes more sense.
I wonder which one's got the better price. Let's try this one. And then let's see how it correlates. Oof. This one's got a massive gap. Okay, I don't think it's this one. 23,347. 23,30 something. No, this one doesn't look like it's too close. Let's look for which one is closer. Let's try the IC market one. This one looks a little bit closer. Yeah. So 23,301-ish. 23,301-ish. Yeah. Okay, so I'll bring this, well, I'll keep this one here under indices. And then we'll get rid of the German 30. Yeah. I think then we can keep an eye on the DAX. I get confused with that as well. Will 30% of my profits come from DAX, 50 from NDX, which is NAS, and 20 from Bitcoin. Nice. And then Pooley saying the Deutsch 40 on IC markets is holding yesterday's lows at the moment. Yeah.
So I try and use I like the Vantage broker because that's the broker that I use for my Percy accounts or for my demo accounts. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like.
I have IC Market accounts, and then the Fivers.
I hate IC markets, man.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Oh, they're garbage.
But with that absolute bombshell, we have come to the end of the stream.
Talking about bombshell. Will had his meeting this morning on the throne room at Castle Apex.
Yeah, he's dropping S-bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody that kept me company while Will was out doing his business. If you haven't already, drop us a like, and if you would like to, please share it and potentially go and tell all of your friends about this lovely in the morning session, and then they can join us. Thank you guys once again. For those of you who is not going to the Fiverr stream, you will catch us again tomorrow morning, same time, same place. For everybody else, we will be heading over to the Fiverr stream in about 2 hours or so. So, guys, anything from you, Will, before we sign off?
No, guys, apologize for showing up late, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But don't worry, guys, don't panic. I will be back properly at some point. So I do apologize for ditching you, Rich. And yeah, we'll see you all in the Fivers one later on.
All right, guys, have a great day. Make sure that you stick to your plan and don't let Trump and his opening of the markets screw you over. All right, guys, cheers.